It is now my great privilege to introduce someone who has been a true champion for transportation in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy has consistently demonstrated his unwavering commitment to protecting the lives of everyone who uses our roadways, drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and workers alike. His forward-thinking policies, investment in critical safety infrastructure, and support for increased education has been the driving force behind our continuing efforts to bring down traffic fatalities. Governor, your leadership inspires all of us to aim higher and work harder to ensure no life is lost on our roadways. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Governor, Phil Murphy.
Just getting caught up, we had this crazy, an old mine shaft under I-80 collapsed a few weeks ago. Fran and team, many of whom Joe and others are here, got it back in business, and unfortunately a different part of it collapsed this morning. So if you're on I-80, please be careful. I don't think we had any injuries, thank God. So in any event, thanks for letting us get caught up there. Good morning, everyone. It pains me to say this, by the way, but I will say, fly, Eagles, fly. I know. Please get a medic for Ron Rios, please. They're not my team, but bless them, they certainly deserved it. It is always a pleasure to join my friends, particularly the Department of Transportation, and more on Fran in a moment, as well as the Division of Highway Traffic Safety, and especially to do so to support, or in support, I should say, of such an important cause. And the agenda is outstanding, and I only regret, and I feel a little high-handed, frankly. I'm not happy about this, but I can't stay. But I'll tell you what you've already, if the agenda is stuck with what you had, it's off to a great start, and you've got a lot of really interesting panels and discussions. You can take the picture down of me if you'd like. That was not what I was referring to. I want to thank Commissioner Fran O'Connor first and foremost, who stepped into Diane Scacchetti's large shoes and has really hit the ball out of the park on a whole range of interests, including this very important and grave interest. Also, Deputy Commissioner Joe Bertoni, I don't know where Mike Rosol is, Chief of Staff, right in front of me, sorry Mike, Chief of Staff Chris Scales, who welcomed me and their entire teams for inviting me to be a part of the Getting to Zero conference. I mentioned Ronnie, all the many elected officials, public servants who are here today, advocates, many of whom are here with a very personal experience. God bless you all. So as I announced last month during my annual State of the State address, making New Jersey's roads safer for drivers, pedestrians, and everyone who calls the great Garden State home is a top priority during our administration's final year in office. And it's a record that must get better. You know, we're proud of a lot of things in this state, a lot of things that we've done over the past 7+ years. But I think we had a record amount of deaths last year. Fran will correct me if I'm wrong, and that's not something we're proud of at all. And today's conference reflects that this is not just a priority for our administration. It is a mission that is bringing together leaders, organizers, and, as I mentioned, advocates all across the Garden State. During my State of the State address, I had the honor of being joined by one of those courageous advocates, and I'm told she's with us today, Sangeeta Badlani. Sangeeta, where are you? My eyes are shot. Is Sunil here as well? Sunil, right, her husband, Sunil, right beside her. Sunil, likewise. So Sangeeta, and with Sunil's great support, is the founder of Families for Safe Streets, New Jersey, as well as the Nikhil Badlani Foundation, which is named in honor of their precious son, Nikhil, who tragically lost his life in a crash back in 2011. At the time, he was just 11 years old. Nikhil should still be here today. And in his memory and that of so many children, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, and other loved ones lost too soon, we need to enact new policies that protect pedestrians and passengers and make our transportation system safer and more reliable for everyone. And I am proud to report that we are already making progress in this mission. Last month, I joined Sangeeta and Sunil and many of her fellow advocates to sign, and Fran, to sign a life-saving piece of legislation creating the Target Zero Commission. The goal The key on commissions like that are not how they start, but how they end. So let's all focus on the end product here. The goal of the commission is to eliminate all traffic deaths and serious injuries in New Jersey by the year 2040. And we can announce today that the first meeting of the commission will be held on March 6th. So we are getting right to work because we've just 15 years to achieve this noble goal. That may seem like a long time, but I promise you it will pass in a flash. Reaching it will require all of us to work together, from government to law enforcement to organizers to everyday New Jerseyans appreciating the decisions they make behind the wheel can either endanger or, on the other hand, save lives. To that last point, as part of our efforts to make New Jersey's streets safer for everyone, our administration is also working with Assembly members Lisa Swain, Dave Bailey, and Heather Simmons to enact another law that will update our driver education programs to focus on cyclist and pedestrian safety. And during our final year, I'm going to work with the man to my left, Fran, to overhaul 10 of our state's most dangerous intersections to keep our families safe and to help prevent avoidable tragedies. The panel sessions and conversations being held here today, as I said, are outstanding, and they're crucial to advancing each one of these priorities. So I am beyond grateful to each and every one of you for participating in today's conference. And I'm also grateful to those of you who have been personally impacted by these tragedies and have chosen to share your own stories in the hopes of inspiring change. I promise you, our state's leaders are listening, and we are taking action together. And like it is for many folks here today, this cause is deeply personal to me and to the members of our administration. A little over a year ago, on New Year's Day, we lost one of our very own in the governor's office, the brilliant Louisa Carmen, to a tragic crash. At just 25 years old, Louisa had her whole life ahead of her. During her time in the governor's office, she was a tireless champion for every New Jerseyan struggling. In her case, her passion was to deal with crushing medical debt, and she was taken from us far too soon. Over the summer, I had the privilege of signing the Louisa Carmen Medical Debt Relief Act into law to memorialize her phenomenal contributions to our state and to continue building a stronger, fairer healthcare system in her honor. I mentioned the day Sangeeta and Fran and others here will remember the day we signed the commission into law. I said it was the second of the most emotional gatherings I've had at the State House. It was along with signing the Louisa Carmen Act into law. Like myself, there are too many folks in this audience who have their own painful story of a friend, a family member, or a loved one lost too soon. As I mentioned, last year alone, more than 690 New Jerseyans lost their lives in crashes. We must do everything within our power to ensure no family has to experience the kind of heartbreak their families are going through. And while our goal of 0 fatalities by 2040 is ambitious, it is achievable. But it will take all of us to reach the finish line, which is why I want to personally thank everyone in this audience today who has been leading the charge since day one. Your presence and your advocacy are proof that we have what it takes to end traffic fatalities once and for all. So thank you all for your commitment, and I look forward to fighting by your side in the years to come. Thank you all. God bless.